Welcome to the Cast Off. This is the #1 recasting show on the internet where two contestants compete by recasting your favorite actors in movies you love. I am Craig Price, and tonight we're going to do what we always do on Le Cast Off and make people more happy by recasting Les Misérables. And that's right, Les Misérables is tonight, and we've got two great theater-inspired folks for you guys. That is the wonderful and talented Elisabeth Rappe and the talented and wonderful Derek McCaw. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, we had a couple technical difficulties, so we're going to have to pretend that we are surprised at the first couple of picks.
I don't know why you're revealing that secret now.
Because it's truth and integrity is this show is all about, and there's no one with more integrity than the wonderful Elisabeth Rappe. Elisabeth, how are you?
I'm okay.
You have
integrity. That makes that's a nice way of putting it.
You're one of the judges. Of course you have integrity. If you don't, what the hell am I doing? Entrusting my picks with you. And I have to say this was the most difficult I could do because normally I would go to you and say, "Help me," but I couldn't because you're
I have to clone myself and then.
Yeah, and you would have picked all of Derek's.
The other one, she could pet sit for me and vote for you.
Yes. How is your mother doing? I know there was a little bit of COVID, some West Covina that was going through the house.
She's good. Yeah, she got a really, I think it was Omicron B574 or whatever the new variation is. It was really mild, and I'm impressed we made it 2 years without any positive COVID in the house, considering we've been on the front line the whole time. So
sounds like Orson Welles' character in Transformers the movie, Omicron. 24579.
I never know. Like I say it Omicron, and everyone's like, "No, it's Omicron." Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is either. Yeah. We have been on cruises. We've been at conventions, and we have dodged the COVID bullet as well. So we have not had COVID.
I know. I still haven't gotten it in 2 years. I've been around so many positive people. Everyone's joking. I'm Wolverine, or like a really got a good healing factor. I'm worried they're gonna put me in like a bubble, like in the island, and.
Yeah, they're going to strap you up to Cerebros and use you as an experiment like they did with Legion.
That sounds a lot less cool.
Yeah. Well, you want the metal bones.
If we all three come down with it as a result of this game show, that's going to be weird.
That is going to be weird.
We can only get COVID through the digital. So you've not had COVID either, Derek?
I have not, and I'm going to knock every piece of wood I can find.
Yeah, because
don't say that.
Because your lovely wife Stephanie is due back from overseas. She's got to get it from some of those disgusting airports she's going to be in.
No, she will be wrapped in many layers of I don't know what protective gear,
medicinal gauze.
Absolutely,
mint smelling. It's got to smell like mint.
So a hazmat suit. That's how I want to travel.
What's been going on at Fanboy Planet there, Derek?
We had just completed Comic-Con coverage, going into CineQuest, which is doing its first live back in 2 or 3 years.
Ever since I left, they refused to do a live show. So now that
we missed you. No, I think you already had left because they got 1 week in when the shutdown happened.
Right. I did not get to go to that one. I wanted to, and they asked me if I was coming back, and I'm like, I can't. And I wanted to. I got to meet Bill Nighy. Well, how can you say no to an experience to see Bill Nighy?
That was a great night. And then D23 coming up in September, the Disney convention at the Anaheim Convention Center. So that's why I'm a little nervous about COVID. Just feel like I am pushing the odds quite a bit by going to places where people are people.
I thought we were going to get it at WonderCon. We went to WonderCon together in Anaheim, and nope. We wore a mask the whole time. Make sure you tell my wife because she's paranoid. She's Howard Hughes.
You did. The only time we did not wear masks was at lunch in the hotel, and that was outdoors.
Yeah.
So there
you go. Even when we saw my good friend Marilyn Gigliotti from Clerks, we all wore masks.
That is true. That was exciting. That you kind of like got to name drop that, and then that person materialized. Like you kept saying, I wonder if my good friend Marilyn's here.
I know. I didn't. I wasn't even saying that. I saw her. But I saw her from a distance, from across the room she just had knee operation, so she had a cane, and and I still recognize her, and I hope that she joins the Clerks folks at Salt Lake as they do the Clerks reunion for Fan X. So hopefully she will join us.
Have a role in Clerks 3? Do you know?
Yes, she will. She did.
Excellent.
Well, we have a movie here to recast because we're going to be recasting Clerks. Surprise, surprise. We're going to be recasting Clerks at Fan X. But let's get to tonight's rules, and nothing really has changed. We're gonna go, and I'll name a character in the movie, and our contestants here tonight will recast them with an actor throughout all in space and time, so they can get anybody at any age that they think is appropriate for the character. Best choice gets a point. I'm playing along as well, and if I happen to pick the same choice as yours, you get a point. And let's be honest, mine's usually the best choice, so that means you can also a good way to get 2 points. Person with the most points wins, and if there's a tie, there will be a double feature to win, which will explain when and if that's necessary. But August is birthday month for both Alan and myself, and so this week's show brought to you, as always, by Matinee Heroes, and Alan's birthday was yesterday, the 8th, and so starting this weekend, we are going to do one of his favorite movies, Tron. So you can head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe and join the podcast, where you can also hear in the audio feed tonight's post-show exclusively on the audio version of Cast Off every Thursday in the Matinee Heroes feed. And if you're enjoying Cast Off, you can subscribe to the video feed at matineeheroes.com/castoff. But I dreamed a dream in times gone by when hope was high and life was worth living. It was sometime in 2015. Since then, not so much. But we are going to go with Elisabeth. You have won the toss. You get to go first, and we are going to start with the mediocre leading man and someone you personally have irritated, Hugh Jackman as Jean Valjean. Please tell everybody your little story about how and why, because you irritated. You told us on the podcast once before, but you actually had a chance to meet Hugh Jackman and crushed him like a bug. Thank you so much.
You know, and it has effectively ended my crush on him in some ways, but I met him on the set of
Did he
Real
cry?
Steel.
Is that why? He's like, this guy's not manly enough. If he can't take a little barb from me.
Well, I mean, it just, I was so embarrassed, but yeah, I jokingly told him to take his shirt off, and he didn't think that was funny. Like he just said 5 seconds before, this is great because I don't have to take my shirt off, you know. And the director was like, oh, well, I need to increase the female audience numbers, you know. And I said, yeah, push him in that tank of water over there, make him take his shirt off. And Hugh Jackman was not happy.
Yeah,
he looked at me like I had ripped out his heart, I'd molar-rammed his heart and just showed it to him.
Shuck the day, molar-ram. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I can. He wanted you to love him for him, and not because he takes HGH and gets all his steroided body all juiced up. And he's more than a piece of meat.
The week after that, he started some charity thing, and he was like, you know, I'll look out for you, and for 10,000, you know, take me shit off. And I was like, oh, I see how it is, Hugh.
That's
like,
why.
Well, you just didn't have the right price.
Yeah, you didn't have 10 grand in a suitcase to give him. God, he's like Marlon Brando all of a sudden.
Yeah, I felt like if I should have been like, here's $5, like give me the top button, you know, do it slowly.
Yeah.
Slower than that. Slower than that.
I expect change back too there,
like
buddy.
Dangle it.
Well,
do it once and make it rain.
do it with pennies like he deserves. So, who do you have to replace the mediocre Hugh Jackman?
You know, when Hugh Jackman was cast in this, it really made me happy. It made me love him again. And then he sounded terrible, and I didn't love him anymore. But I went with somewhat box office power over voice, although his voice is very good. But I went with Ewan McGregor.
Well, I mean, I think Hugh Jackman has more box office pull, but yes, of the ones available,
yes.
He's known for taking the high ground because we just saw him in the Kenobi and the Star Wars prequels that all of a sudden people have rewritten history and now they love, which is stupid because it sucked in the first time. It sucks now. He was great in Trainspotting and Birds of Prey. I loved him in Moulin Rouge where he starts to sing, and he really startled me with his singing voice because it was so good. And he sings on his we watch his motorcycle show that he does where he goes like from the tip of the Tierra del Fuego at the bottom of the South America up to Alaska, and he's great. So and he was in Dr. Sleep, did a really good job as the adult Danny from The Shining. Derek, who do you have to possibly go up against Ewan McGregor?
Well, I clearly didn't go for box office or modern audience recognition whatsoever. I went old school.
No. You went old school.
Now, how dare you, sir? Well, yes, okay, it's true. But there was a time in the 1950s when he was a huge box office draw, and that was Howard Keel, who was very big in musicals. I believe that is I want to say that's a still from Kiss Me Kate.
It
but
is.
I could be completely
It's
wrong.
the only one that I could find. That was
Which is
high-res.
a bizarre 3D film. I don't know why that musical about being a stage musical is in 3D, but yeah, I saw him once live on stage doing Annie Get Your Gun with Debbie Reynolds on a national tour.
Wow,
And
you're like a million years old.
I am.
How old were you when you saw it?
I gotta say I was 9 or 10.
Okay, so that's more realistic.
Okay. But
so that would be
but
what,
yeah,
73?
He's just a powerful baritone. He was a great singer.
Was that 1973, 1978?
It was so I might have been a little older. Yeah, it was 76 or 77.
Okay,
somewhere around there. Gavin MacLeod was in it.
Jeez, you had an all-star cast.
We did. Yeah.
Did you have dinner with the play?
No. I mean, we had dinner afterwards.
No, I'm just making sure it wasn't like at Burt Reynolds' Florida's dinner theater.
No. It was at the
Charles
the
Nelson
Current.
Riley is the main guy.
Well, that would be fantastic. It was the Current in San Francisco.
Okay, well, Annie Get Your Gun, Seven Brides or Seven Brothers, Kiss Me Kate, Showboat, some classic MGM musicals, which he was a huge star, and then he was on Dallas the whole time for a long time, and then, like you said, he might have appeared on Fargo. We haven't confirmed nor denied that. You say he was. I don't believe you. I think
You haven't opened IMDb.com yet.
He's
Yes.
been long dead since then. All right, so we have Ewan McGregor, Howard Keel. The judges said, "Who the hell's Howard Keel?" and gave it to Ewan McGregor. Elisabeth gets 1 point.
I don't come here to win.
It's
His is the better show. Like,
yeah,
I think
and when people
Thank
see
you,
your
Elizabeth.
picks, they will know you did not come here to win. I also went with Ewan McGregor, so that means that Elisabeth, you also get an additional point. So you get 2 right off the bat. The gauntlet's down. She's here to win.
I feel like this is a dirty production of Les Miserables.
Well, right now you have a really good shot of tying the record that was set last week when Jake Dietz had two of Craig's picks, which is almost impossible to do because it's hard to sync up with my mind once. And you always are saying that you're not picking people because you think I'll pick them. Did you throw that theory away this time and decided I'm just going to do whatever Craig says?
No, because I almost went with Tom Hiddleston, but I couldn't find evidence he had a voice to do more than one song. So I was like,
Well, speaking of people who can only sing one song, next we have Russell Crowe as the somewhat miscast, and I say that politely because I do like Russell Crowe as an actor. I thought the acting was great until he opened his mouth to sing. It's sort of like Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia. I liked him in the movie, and I didn't really mind his singing, but it's not good. I wouldn't get the cast album just because he's singing. He is police inspector doggedly pursuing Jean Valjean as Javert. So, or as people who are not as French as I am, Javert. So,
Javert.
Derek, who do you have to be the great and powerful Javert or Javert?
Javert, the dogged, needs someone with intense and unforgiving eyes, and I chose a person who was also a Broadway star and a great singer, but people don't think of him that way, was Raul Julia.
Yeah, no, there's no worries about him not being able to hit the notes, or grumble Rex Harrison style through his songs. This is a legitimate powerhouse singer, Broadway star, and then movie star. Always good for suave, powerful characters. I know that Elisabeth likes him because he defended Harrison Ford in Presumed Innocent. Also played Ray the Repairman in 1971 on Sesame Street. So everybody in New York did that. Everybody in New York in the 70s had to be on either the Electric Company or Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true.
So who do you have to possibly upset and get Raul Julia? Because that's a heavy hitter.
This is such a good pick because he was an incredible singer, and I mean he would be perfect. I can see him doing it. I wanted to go older school with this, and I drew such a blank, but I went with Chadwick Boseman because he had an incredible voice. And he would do an incredible rendition of Stars. I almost went with him for Jean Valjean because I think he'd be great, but I had a hard time believing that Javert wouldn't recognize him as mayor of the town.
He'd stick out like a sore thumb.
I gave him the sort of the anti-hero role.
He'd
I think
like, Sacre bleu! You know, there he is. But no, Chadwick Boseman also, just like Raul Julia, another person who played a lot of dignified people, whether they're good or bad. Almost all of Raul Julia's characters were, like I said, suave and cool and dignified. Chadwick Boseman also did that with 42, Black Panther. Actually, it's ironic that you both pick two great actors who left us way too soon.
Too soon.
So a very tragic and melancholy pick for Javert. So we have Raul Julia, we have Chadwick Boseman, and the judges roundly pick Raul Julia.
Oh, I will not get shut out. That's good. No. That's good.
So Derek, you're halfway back. It's the comeback begins now. So Derek is.
I don't have faith in this.
I do.
I went with John Travolta.
What? Oh God!
John Travolta.
No, he would be. No, that's a good choice.
He could sing. He can sing. He can act. He just doesn't want to do it much very often anymore.
No, that's the problem.
But he could. Yeah. Very much, especially in 2012, could have been Javert. I think it would have probably helped his career. He can definitely sing. I do know that. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, next we have Anne Hathaway, who won an Oscar for her performance of I Dream a Dream. I mean, she won an Oscar for her performance of Fantine because, let's be honest, she only won it because she sang the song. She was good, but it's one of those things where everyone was like, "Oh my God, she can sing," and she did a great job, and yet. She got an Oscar for that song only. So, Elisabeth, who do you have to sing I Dream a Dream and take home an Oscar?
I went with as much as I wanted to go like Broadway, old school classic, I went with Wayfish, and I went with Emmy Rossum because she has an opera background and she is one of, I think, the only people who can sing in the Phantom of the Opera that Joel Schumacher did.
Are you trying to say that
she's the only person who can?
Yes.
You're right.
Gerard Butler can't sing?
He is very wrong. You and I talked about this a bit ago. He's horrible in that role.
Would he have been that good at Javert?
It wouldn't have been bad.
Okay. I haven't heard him sing, so
but he would have sung a lot like Russell Crowe. He's got a rocker's voice, and that's not what this style of music is.
I think a lot of people know her from Shameless. After that, it's spotty. Mystic River, The Day After Tomorrow, the ill-fated Phantom of the Opera, and the Poseidon remake.
And the current series on Peacock, Angeline.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
You should go back to Broadway. Like,
well, if you're in LA, everybody knows about Angeline. Sorry.
I'm not in LA, so I'm in Orange County, which is the Florida of California. So.
Well, yeah, and it's also for you. It's still 1952, so I get it. Yeah.
Well, politically,
yes.
I mean, I live in Orange County, so the streets are actually, pothole free mostly.
How dare you, sir? They just repaved the street in front of my house.
Yeah. So who do you have to go up against Emily Rossum?
Okay, I did go old school, but at least you've heard of her.
Oh, I have. She lived in my neighborhood.
She's back in, she was back in the public eye this last year, and that is Rita Moreno.
Yes, and I found her. She's a Hollywood legend. She was in both West Side Stories. Here, she's playing in Carnal Knowledge. Where she played a prostitute.
She was great in Carnal.
She's great in everything. Yeah. Slums of Beverly Hills. She was in 7 seasons of The Electric Company. And
you're proving your point.
Yeah. Yeah. I prove my points. It's my show. I get to prove my points.
Oh, of course, yes.
She's the one that goes, "Hey, you guys!"
Yes.
And kicks off every show.
We're gonna turn it on.
Yeah, and just to show that she has.
And Craig, didn't you meet her?
I met her. Yeah, she lived in my neighborhood. Yeah. As I always tell everybody, as I drop names, it's her and Five-ish Finkel would always be in the grocery stores in my neighborhood in New York.
You didn't insult her the way that I insulted you, Jackman, though. So
I did not ask her to take her shirt off. No, especially not in the grocery store. That'd be rude.
Well, all right, great. I feel better.
Very odd icebreaker. Oh, I loved your Electric Company. Can you take your shirt off? 80-year-old Rita Moreno? That would be rude. But she was she was on all seasons of Oz as Sister Maria something.
She was great in that.
She is timeless. So we have Emmy Rossum, Rita Moreno, and the judges went, "Who the hell is Emmy Rossum?" and picked Rita Moreno.
Damn.
No, you're tied. Oh my goodness.
Yes, you have come back. It is a
We
tie.
got some theater people in this house.
Yes. I went with Emily Blunt. I just think she's a great singer and a great actress, and
she would be good.
So I think she could do it. What you need is, that's why I got her crying, because this is basically all Fantine does, is realize that her life sucks and give birth to Cosette and sing I Dreamed a Dream. So now we get to Cosette. Amanda Siegfried as Cosette, the adopted daughter of Jean Valjean. So, Derek, who do you have playing the young girl who is feisty and is in love with the revolutionaries?
Well, I made a West Side Story connection, which is Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood, yes. A very tragic life for Natalie Wood, but she was a kid, like a tiny little baby in Miracle on 34th Street, and then jumped out into the world with Rebel Without a Cause, The Searchers, also in West Side Story. So, and of course, she sang in Gypsy as the Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose Lee. Well,
Gypsy Rose
the
Lee.
thing is, in neither of those films did she actually sing. She was dubbed, but really nowhere in the rules of this did we say we could not play it the old school Hollywood way.
No.
Somebody else to sing.
If she was in West Side Story as Maria, one of the main characters, and it wasn't her voice, then all bets are off. You can put anybody you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, yeah.
So I'll put Russell Crowe in this role and see what happens.
Well, now you just want to lose.
Now I'm just irritating you.
Yeah. So, Elisabeth, who do you have to go up against Natalie Wood?
I basically went with another little pixie, and I thought about doing the dubbed thing, but I wanted to go pure, and I went with Anna Kendrick, who has a very good voice, is waif-like.
Oh, definitely. She's like, she's a little sprite.
Cosette's basically just, a big pair of eyes and a voice. So Anna Kendrick seems a little over-talented for that, but
yeah. She's known for her spunky characters. Here she looks like she is a Vulcan because she's got the eyebrows and the ears going. But yeah, she's great. I love her a lot. She's wonderful in the Pitch Perfect movies. Not that I'm a big fan of the Pitch Perfect movies, but she's perfect for those. I guess she was in Twilight. She was nominated for Up in the Air, and she's one of the youngest people ever to be nominated for the Triple Crown of awards. Tony, Emmy, and an Oscar, like in the same year or so, something like that. Into the Woods, where she had to sing, and then she was Scott Pilgrim's sister in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Mm-hmm. So we have Natalie Wood, we have Anna Kendrick. The judges decided the streak continues as Derek McCaw grabs the lead.
This is like LA Comic-Con. I don't know what to do.
Well, you better hope Sal Mineo shows up at the end.
I don't think he will, but okay.
I went with Haley Steinfeld because she can sing.
Yes.
And I think she would be really good, especially like she was in the Dickinson show and in True Grit. I think those... Yeah, in Hawkeye, the Hawkeye show, she's good, but I liked her in those other ones a little bit better. So she can do all that. Well, next we have someone Derek does not like.
No, I do not.
Now, do you not like him, or do you not like his character?
I do not like Eddie Redmayne.
All right, so we have anti-Eddie Redmayne fan.
I'm going to clarify. I've never met him. I've never asked him to take his shirt off, anything like that.
Nobody has asked him to take his shirt off.
I just don't like his acting style. He may be a very nice human being.
I think a lot of people asked him to put his shirt back on.
He's married. I think that implies that he's living in like a turtleneck.
Yeah, no, I just think he's just a tiny little guy. He is Marius Pontmercy, Cosette's love and a revolutionary. So, Elisabeth, who do you have as... I guess he's supposed to be some kind of manly revolutionary, but it's very hard to believe when it's Eddie Redmayne.
No, this isn't a manly revolutionary character. So I went with somebody who people constantly are trying to put in manly Wolverine roles, but he can sing very well, and I went with Taron Egerton because he's, can play some young idealistic student who, fails at Revolution. And he's got a good voice. I almost did the Tom Holland thing, but I went with the other
yeah, well, I think
and he needs to be tiny because Anna Kendrick is tiny. So
yeah. Well,
and to the point of your cough, yes, he would be a great Wolverine.
No.
He would be. Wolverine's supposed to be 5'2".
Yeah. But he's not.
He's not manly enough.
He's
not manly enough. We saw him in the Kingman movies. He was Eddie the Eagle. He was fantastic as Elton John.
Yes.
I didn't know this. He is the star of the Sing movie, so he does
the
sing.
gorilla.
Yeah, he sings. And he played Robin Hood once, so with Jamie Foxx in the Robin Hood.
I think you must be the only one that saw that.
No, I just remember it was Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
I didn't see that movie.
No, I didn't see it either.
So we'll go with you, Derek.
Well, thanks.
Don't worry. I flashed that picture. Nobody knows who that is. So I didn't.
Oh, to heck with you, sir.
So what unknown
that
actor
is.
did you pick from the 1900s?
Well, first of all, he originated the role of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, both in the West End and on Broadway, but was in Hello, Dolly with Barbara Streisand. Michael Crawford.
Yes, Michael Crawford.
I almost did this. I almost
did. And you included Condorman. Thank you.
Of course I had to. He's only done 5 movies.
How dare you? I've seen all of them.
Yes.
No, because the Phantom of the Opera, he's not actually in that movie.
No, but I had to put him in there because he's known for the Phantom of the Opera. I mean,
yeah, he did Phantom of the Opera.
I had to put that in
because that's a residency in Vegas.
That's the #1 thing he's known for. If it wasn't for the Phantom of the Opera, he wouldn't. Hello, Dolly. He had a small part in. He was in Condorman, but only you saw that.
Yeah, well, and my friend Mark Roper's shout out to the other person I know.
Yeah,
we went to see it 3 times.
Okay, and and that's how they made their $6 back. You saw it on discount.
It's a $2 theater. You're right.
He originated Barnum on Broadway, and then they made a movie of it, a TV movie, I think. Yeah. And this is the interesting one: is How I Won the War with John Lennon.
Richard Lester directed.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting film.
But I could not find any pictures of him young in color, so I had to go. This is the best I could find. And even this, he's English, so he looks old in this too. So
he looks very young in the Hello, Dolly movie, and he's not a small part. It's a major character in Hello, Dolly.
Okay, he seemed like he was a candy striper. He was wearing the popcorn hat and a little.
Well, yes, because at the beginning he works for the shopkeeper.
Okay, I haven't seen Hello, Dolly, so I don't know.
I'm going to defend Derek because I used to sing There's a World Out There, Barnaby, every time I Starbucks, because we would see the same people every day, and I had a musical theater coworker, and I would be like, "There's a world out there,
Barnaby." Yes, okay.
I know.
He's the only one that got the reference, and everyone was like, "What is that from?" I'm like, "Wally." It's from Wally.
That's right. That's right. They use him in
I should have put him in Wally because I have seen those. Then you're right. I have seen that one. It's just I haven't seen it in a long time. So we have Taron Egerton, Michael Crawford, and we went new school versus old school. Elisabeth Rappe has tied it up. I think once again, it's because the people that I used to judge may not have known Michael Crawford other than the Phantom of the Opera, and that's usually a detriment to them. Mm-hmm. I went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, very talented singer, dancer, actor.
Yeah.
He can do it all.
I like that choice.
So I thought he's young. I think he'd look good next to Anna Kendrick. They both look like a cute little couple.
Oh.
So next we have one of my favorite. We're gonna do Madame and Monsieur. Now you're gonna have to help me with this one. Thénardier. Okay. I or as they say in the Ozarks, Thénardier. Yeah. The two of them basically enslave Cosette. Once Fantine dies, they get her from the orphanage and basically use her as a slave, and she does all the housework, and they abuse her. And so we're going to start with the wonderful Helena Bonham Carter as Madam. So Derek, who do you have playing the evil? I guess they'd be comic relief as well in this movie.
And they're perfectly cast in this film.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
They are the part I love the most about this movie.
Yes. So who do you have replacing Helena Bonham Carter?
Madeline Kahn.
Oh. Now that's you went heavy hitter right there. You went for the jugular. comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I admit,
Oh, wait,
by the time I
absolutely.
make my last choices,
Yeah.
I come to try to win.
I think what happens is that you start off not wanting to win, and as you go through the list, you're like, I might have a chance. Maybe I should take this more
It's
seriously.
weird.
I'm not going to go back and revise my answers, but I'll start getting serious on the way down.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles, The Young Frankenstein, Clue, The Muppet Movie, History of the World Part 1. The only one we have not done here on Matinee Heroes is Clue, which we'll get to at some point. But
Ooh.
yeah, all of those you can go to matineeheroes.com and look in the archives because Madeline Kahn is amazing. This picture is from the Sherlock Holmes' Other Brother movie. Another Sherlock Holmes' Other Brother.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother.
Smarter Brother. But that's the one I could find that fit what we were doing because otherwise it's just her buxom in all these other shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Elisabeth, who do you have to go up against Madeline Kahn?
I went. I went sort of untested, but she has a long West End background and musical background, and she would have the sheer comedy and grossness. I'd like to see her do it, but I went with Hannah Waddingham.
Oh,
Who I couldn't find video of her singing, but
no, she sings in Ted Lasso. That's
right, she does. Okay,
she's got a beautiful voice.
That's why it wasn't on YouTube.
Yeah, no, she's got a beautiful voice. I know her best for shaming Cersei Lannister, just walking down behind her going shame.
I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, she was in Ted Lasso. She's in Game of Thrones. She's on Krypton. She was in this edition of Les Misérables as one of the prostitutes in the Working Ladies, and she will be seen in the upcoming Hocus Pocus 2. And of course, Ted Lasso 3.
I didn't know she was in Les Mis. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she plays I think she plays a factory worker. Now that I think of it, it just said worker, but I'm assuming a tall.
And you went to sex worker. It's because she's in Sex Education on Netflix as well.
It's also because she's tall and gorgeous, and that's
sure.
what. I mean, let's be honest. Hubba hubba.
I don't think that was the description of any of the prostitutes in Les Mis.
I know, but I mean, you got to throw one in there, right?
See, Elisabeth and I are both trying to apply actual logic.
I'm not. I'm just saying that I think Hannah Waddington's beautiful. We have Madeline Kahn, who's beautiful. Hannah Waddingham, who's beautiful. I think what happened here is Hannah Waddington wins because of reputation now. I think Madeline Kahn, unfortunately, I think some of the younger people are starting to forget how awesome she was. But Elisabeth takes the lead with one person to go.
This is tight. Ugh.
I went with Lady Gaga, or as they call her, Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Lady Gaga.
Yes. She's going to do the Joker as a musical, the sequel. So maybe we'll see her get goofy, but I think she could do it.
If you've seen House of what was it?
No, House of Gucci. I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, she's goofy as heck in that.
Yeah, but I heard she's good goofy.
Oh, she is. She's fantastic.
Yeah, everybody's goofy in it. Jared Leto's goofy in it too. They're all goofy. They're all speaking in bad Italian accents in Italy, which just doesn't make any sense.
I hate that. I hate that conceit in film. Yeah.
Well, next we have this is the final one. We have Monsieur, whatever, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, who did a string of famous musicals. He's in Sweeney Todd. He was in this one. I think there's one more I'm forgetting, but he's the main weasel who does anything for money. And the madam joins him gleefully. So who do you have playing the weasel, the bad guy, Elisabeth? This is your chance to take the lead? I
went with a non-Weasley guy who I want to see get a little Weasley, and I went with Colin Firth, who sings very well. I don't know, again, I never know if any of these people truly have the range, some of them, but I think he'd actually be really funny because I could see him as like a handsome rogue who'd gone to ruin. So that's how I actually cast that one.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried to think of him on all the parts he's done, and I couldn't find anything visually that would fit. He's in the Kingsman movie because he's a proper Englishman. He always plays the very proper Englishman in Bridget Jones' Diary, Love Actually, The King's Speech. It's in the Mamma Mia movies where he does sing. So we've got Colin Firth.
You should have gotten a picture of him from Valmont.
Oh yeah, Valmont. Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't in high definition, and that's the problem. I'm trying to find pictures that don't look pixelated because it's bad enough as we go. So Derek, who do you have to compete against Colin Firth? Because you need this to tie.
Well, I would say this is I chose Lord Throw in the Towel, because if you're going to say that no one, that people didn't know Madeline Kahn, I know they're not going to know this choice. But he is a man who played sleazy the way other people just exhale, and that is Zero Mostel.
Ah, yes, the great Zero Mostel, known for comedic zaniness.
Mm-hmm.
He was, how do you say his name in the producers? Blackenstock?
Max Bialystock.
Bialystock, that's right. He's Bialystock in the producers. He was in the Great Train Robbery, the Great Bank Robbery. He was in The Front, which is it was a Woody Allen movie, but it was about the people who were blacklisted in the 50s, and Zero Mostel was one of those people who was blacklisted in the 50s.
Yeah, it's just one of the movies that Woody Allen acted in. He had nothing to do with the writing or directing.
His face is on the front, and he's always acting.
Yeah, because he was a huge star at the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
but he's won Tonys. He was on Fiddler on the Roof on Broadway, where he won a Tony, and he won a Tony for Rhinoceros, which he then later would do the show with Gene Wilder.
Yeah, and a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum.
I didn't have room for that one.
Well, and the movie is a terrible adaptation, but he is still good in it. You can see why that was a big.
Absolutely, he was in the Muppet Show. I remember seeing him on the Muppet Show.
So
we have Colin Firth versus Zero Mostel. Huh. So we have Elisabeth, who needs to get this to win. Well, and Derek needs to get this to tie. I went with Johnny Depp, so no one's going to get 2 points out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
So will Elisabeth do it for the win, or will it be Derek for the tie? And the first double feature of the season, we'll find out right after we talk about, hey, we need subscribers, folks. We always need subscribers. We'll always need subscribers. We are never going to hit 100 so I can get the custom URL and stop this. So if you don't want to hear me talk about this, subscribe. Just subscribe. Don't listen. Don't watch. I don't care. Just subscribe. Get all your friends and family to subscribe. We don't send out trash mail. But more importantly, let's talk about this. We have new shirts. We have new cast-off shirts because we are going to be at FanX doing not one, but 2 live cast-off shows. And to honor the reunions happening in Salt Lake this September, we'll be recasting both Clerks, which you can see here with the Clerks cast-off shirt that I custom made. And we're going to be doing the reunion of Scream, and we have a great cast-off shirt to commemorate that. So pick up one or both of these shirts now so you'll have them in time for September. I would love to see a panel room full of cast-off shirts because we now have 4 for sale. That would be a great thing, and I could go to bed at night and maybe even be able to afford to buy dinner. So please, they're very cheap, $20. I'm barely making any money off of them.
Let's not make this too sad. Okay?
It's going to be sad. I've got to go all out. This is why I'm not a salesperson. But anyways, let's get back to the game because even I don't know who could win this game. It's Colin Firth versus Zero Mostel, and it's a tie, ladies and gentlemen, as Zero Mostel comes out of nowhere. Because I don't think you understand the power of Zero Mostel. I think so many people saw the producers when it came out with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane that they went back to the original because that one's the far superior version, and Zero Mostel kills it in the producers. And
he does.
And so right now we have you guys. We are going to be doing a live. I don't know who's going to win. I don't like this.
No, I'm going to choke. I'm going to choke here.
I hate this part when we have a tie because when it's the tie, I have to pick, and I don't like it. So let's get to the rules, which I had to search long and hard to find these rules because it's been so long since. I mean, this is episode 20 of season 4. I had to go back to almost season 2 to find the rules because I kind of remembered them. But let's go back to our. We've got this is going to be amazing. We have the tiebreaker. So here are the rules. I am going to have, Elisabeth, you're going first because you won the toss at the beginning of the show, so you're going to go first. You are going to name a complimentary movie to Les Mis, just the title. Then the second person is just going to name the title. Then I will go back, and each person will have 60 seconds to defend their pick, because sometimes you tell me a title, I instantly go, yeah, but maybe your reasoning will sway me. And I will pick the winner, which I absolutely hate doing. So I will start with Elisabeth, since we're only going to do this for 60 seconds, so I just want the title right now, Elisabeth. What are you going to double feature with Les Mis?
Dr. Zhivago.
Derek McCaw, what are you going to go with as a double feature with Les Mis?
Oliver.
All right. And you now have 60 seconds. Go.
I didn't go musical. I went with a revolutionary theme, a successful revolution, successful workers' revolution. And it has so much music and it's such a famous theme that I think it's almost a musical. That's why I picked it.
Oh, I like it. She did less time. I love that. You do not get her. You do not get her extra time, Derek. So don't get cocky. But
You know me.
You now have 60 seconds. Go.
Oliver, with an exclamation point, is based on a Charles Dickens novel, and therefore it's Victor Hugo and Charles Dickens is a double feature, 2 musicals, and I do think Oliver is the superior musical, much more classic, and it's got some terrific performances in it as well. And it's a lot less time than Dr. Zhivago.
And can you remind me who is stars of that particular production of Oliver that you're? Because
Oliver is Mark Lester as Oliver Twist, Jack Wilde as the Artful Dodger, Ron Moody as Fagin, Oliver Reed as Bill Sykes, and I am blanking on the woman.
Your time is done.
Nancy.
I just had to figure out who was playing the Fagin because I had to study that for Christopher Eccleston when I did his thing.
Yes.
So all
Ron
right.
Moody, who was in the 12 Chairs, Mel Brooks' second film.
Oh, okay. Well, now it's up to me. Oh, I hate this. This sucks. Do I go with Dr. Zhivago, one of the greatest movies of all time, or do I go with Oliver, one of the most well-known and beloved musicals of all time? The problem is I hate musicals. So, Elisabeth, you are today's winner.
Dang it. Dang it. I should have just defaulted to Strange Brew because it would have been bizarre and you would have laughed. And maybe I got it that way.
You have lost. Turn off his mic. Elisabeth, you have won today. You are today's winner. You have today's final thought.
I'll go kind and I'll say go look at Pug Hearts because they've got a lot of little guys they've scooped up. So,
Murray, I saw
Jesse
Murray
absented himself from the camera this time, but
yeah, I saw Murray. He's a very older pug. He looks like my Otto.
Yeah.
But I showed him to my wife. He goes, "That looks like Otto." I go, "Yeah, but he's in Houston, so you're not going to get him." But absolutely, Pug Hearts, definitely something out of Houston, Texas. A great way to get the most lovable dog in the world. And I can't even believe there's a rescue for pugs because they're so awesome. It doesn't make any sense. But well done, Elisabeth. Well done, Derek. But we have to continue on because we have more to do next week. And we have regular Troy Mangum from Utah, who did he was on the live show in Salt Lake, going up against Richard Jensen to go toe-to-toe, recasting one of the most difficult films of all time to recast. Yes, the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. You guys are going to have it's going to be old people galore all next week on the Matinee Heroes, but can't wait to see who they pick because it's such a great, sweet little old folk show. This is what we call Mom's Movie Selection. A movie you can take your mom to and you don't have to be embarrassed. Want to be on the show? You can be. Just go to matineeheroes.com/castoff/application and you can be on the show. We've had a couple people come on that way. You can email me at mhcastoff@gmail.com. You can also follow us at The Castoff Show on Twitter. We have a Facebook group, matineeheroes.com/castoff to subscribe to all the video feeds, which includes twitch.tv/matineeheroes. Derek, if you have any complaints, you can bring it up with Heather Price and Mark Woodring, who are our additional judges. And I want to especially thank Heather Price because she's my wife and I love her. And
I like Heather, so I'm not mad at her.
No, you're just disappointed, right? You're not mad, you're just disappointed.
I am.
She's the one that picked Zero Mostel at the end, so if anything...
Okay, see, then she's my favorite person.
She's the only reason you're here, because Mark went with the other way. I went with Zero Mostel because I know who he was, and then I have shown my wife, the producer, so she knows. She's in the know. But on behalf of Derek McCaw and, of course, today's winner, Elisabeth Rappe, my name is Craig Price. You've been watching The Cast Off. We will see you next week.